sé que me extrañas cada día. Si perdió el amor, lo siento, fue mala mía. Si fuera un cuento de fantasía, te llevaría a un paraíso y te besaría, pero look at me wide and talking.
Hello and welcome yet again to another episode here at the Cardboard Cave podcast. And today, like I mentioned last week's episode, we're going to be covering the spoilers and the commander deck list of the 5 new Tarkir Dragonstorm Commander decks. And we're super excited about it. And we're just going ahead and throw ourselves down there like that we can talk about the decks. Nothing, guys. Remember that our show is brought to you by Titan Games. So let's go ahead and bring in all of our favorite team members of the Cardboard Cave podcast. And let's bring in the master of the dark arts, the one and only JP.
Hey, what's up?
How are you doing, JP?
I'm doing pretty good. Ready to tackle these 5 commanders.
Amazing. Let me fix my name tag because I have noticed that I always have it the other way around. And now let's go ahead and bring in our favorite director, Ale.
Hi, what's up?
How are you doing, Ale?
All good. Let's go.
Good in the hood. Okay, so let's go ahead and we're gonna start off with Scryfall has them by dates. Which decks did they reveal? I have no clue. There's a bunch of cards, so we're gonna highlight the cards that we want to talk about, and as well, then we're gonna talk about value and which of the 5 are great to play out of the box. So let's go ahead and dive in. Whoop. There we go. Oh, I think this layout looks way better than the ones that we usually do.
This would be the Jeskai one, if I'm not mistaken.
That is correct.
So
the Jeskai one's named the Jeskai Striker. There's a Jeskai Striker deck.
Okay, so we have a grade.
We should probably talk about the main commanders.
Yes.
Main commanders?
So
I have them right here.
Shiko and Narset unified. 1 blue, red, white for a 4/4 legendary creature human spirit dragon. Got Flying and Vigilance and Flurry. Whenever you cast your second spell each turn, copy that spell if it targets a permanent or player, and you may choose new targets for the copy. If you don't copy a spell this way, draw a card.
Yep.
Okay.
And the secondary commander would be Elsha Threefold Master. Blue, red, white for a 1/1 Jin Monk, legendary creature obviously. Is Trample Prowess, and whenever she deals combat damage to a player, create that many 1/1 white monk creature tokens with Prowess.
Okay,
Cares about tokens, about spell slinging, all the good stuff.
Should we tackle the face commanders like that? We can go ahead and move forward with the decks.
Yeah, sure.
Okay, I'll take Mardu because Mardu is the clan that I mostly love and adore. So, if I'm not mistaken, the face commander is Zurgo, correct?
Yes. That is correct.
Okay, so Zurgo Stormrender is Mardu, so it's red, white, and black. Legendary creature Orc Warrior has mobilize 1. Whenever this creature attacks, create a tap and attacking 1/1 red warrior creature token. Sacrifice it at the beginning of the next end step. He is a 3/3 with another ability that says whenever a creature token you control leaves the battlefield, draw a card. If it was attacking, otherwise each opponent loses 1 life. Then we have Neriv Crackling Vanguard, so it's 2 in Mardu. Legendary creature Spirit Dragon. It's a 4/4 flying Death Touch. When Neriv enters, create 2 1/1 red goblin creature tokens. Whenever Neriv attacks, exile a number of cards from the top of your library equal to the number of differently named tokens you control. During any turn you attacked with a commander, you may play those cards.
I can tackle the Absan ones. Yeah,
sure.
So the Absan is fun. So the Absan has the face commander is Felthar the Steadfast. He's a colorless, a white, a black, and a green legendary creature human warrior. He's a 0/5. Each creature you control assigns combat damage equal to its toughness rather than its power. Creatures you control can attack as though they did not have defender. You can pay 3, tap it, sacrifice another creature, draw cards equal to sacrifice creature's powers, then discard cards equal to its power. And then the secondary commander is Etor, Ancestor's Voice, which we probably mentioned a couple times already. 2 colorless, white, black, and green for a 3/5 Spirit Dragon. Flying instinct at the beginning of your end step, put a number of 1/1 counters on up to one other target creature you control equal to the amount of life you gain this turn. Return up to one target creature card with mana value less than or equal to the amount of life you lost this turn from the graveyard to the battle.
Nice.
Yeah.
Then I guess I'll tackle
Sultai?
the Sultai ones.
Sultai.
Yeah. Sultai ones. It's Kotis Sibsig Champion for Sultai colors. So 3 mana, black, green, blue. He's a 3/3 zombie warrior. Once during each of your turns, you may cast a creature spell from your graveyard by exiling 3 other cards from your graveyard, in addition to paying its other types, its other costs. And that's basically like an Underworld Breach.
Yep.
Just giving it escape. And whenever one or more creatures you control enter, if one or more of them entered from a graveyard or was cast from a graveyard, put 2 +1/+1 counters on Kotis. And then Taval the Balanced Scale. 1 and Sultai for a legendary creature Spirit Dragon. It's a 4/4 flyer. Whenever Taval attacks, mill 3 cards. Then you may return a land card from your graveyard to the battlefield tapped. Whenever one or more cards leave your graveyard, create a 2/2 black zombie druid creature token. It was very, very fun.
Very fun.
Very fun. So,
And we're only missing one deck.
Teamer, the one that no one cares about.
But people care about it.
You're the first one who said you don't care about it.
I said I don't care. Like I said I don't care about the deck. I like the commander.
Fair.
The commander is Eshki Teamer's Roar.
there you go.
Green, blue, red. Legendary creature, human warrior. Whenever you cast a creature spell, put a +1 counter on Eshki. If that spell's power is 4 or greater, draw a card. If that spell's power is 6 or greater, Eshki deals damage equal to Eshki's power to each opponent.
Very Timmy card.
And then Ureni of the Unwritten, 4 green, blue, red, so 4 and Teamer. Legendary creature, Spirit Dragon for a 7/7 flying trample. Whenever Ureni enters or attacks, look at the top 8 cards of your library, and you may put a dragon creature card from among them into the battlefield. Put the rest on the bottom of your library in a random order.
Very
Wow,
Timmy.
is that the Erd Dragon, but with 3 colors?
Just a lot of value there.
Kinda.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. I personally like Eshki a lot more.
Okay.
But-
Yeah, I don't think that your any would be, I think that you can build like a good dragon commander out of it, but that's a high costed commander.
7 mana, 7/7. At least it's an ETB trigger as well.
Thank God.
Yeah,
Makes it
that's
worth
true.
it.
makes it worth it. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know if the Arcane Signet and the Soul Ring artwork goes by the clan.
I
think
don't
it's
think
generic.
I don't think they did.
No, I think it's just based on like that. Like every commander deck will have that artwork because it's Tarkir based, which I think
Okay.
it's cool. That's cool. Yeah.
Cool. So let's go ahead and move forward with the cards. You will
Just
notice which cards are like the new ones, like
Yeah.
not reprints, but
They're laid out. They tell you it's reprint underneath, or they tell you the
Yeah.
source, which means a unique card. Obviously, a braid, we know it's a reprint. So
yeah,
you-
we know
you
it's a
know.
reprint.
You know. You want to talk about the will cards? Will of Jeskai, because each one of them has a will.
We can go through the like the cards on each
Mhm.
on each commander.
Okay.
Like what have you seen the lists
I have
beforehand?
the list. I have the
Yeah.
list. Give me 1 second. I have the list. I have the list and I checked them twice.
Dotted your
Okay, here's
I's,
the
crossed
list.
T's, check the lists. Yep.
Thank you. We can start with Teamer then.
We
I
can
guess
start
we're
with
starting
Teamer Roar.
Let's do Teamer.
So Eshki Teamer's Roar is
Mhm.
the commander.
Yep.
Yes.
I have criticisms about this commander, but first about the deck.
Okay.
But first, any of the cards
Effective Frost
like
Kite is kind of insane.
yes. I
Yes.
wanted to yes.
Yes.
Go ahead,
like,
JP,
just
take it.
A two mana copy is crazy.
Yes.
It's just crazy. Just
Yep.
you don't need anything else. It's a 2 mana copy thing.
Yep. It doesn't have a downside, which generally a 2-mana copy spell will have a downside.
Yeah.
Its downside is that it can only target like high power creatures,
Power
no?
4 or greater. Yeah.
That's fine. I understand, like, for I guess CDH purposes, it's not like Mockingbird.
Yeah.
Mockingbird's like the best one right now. But this one is pretty good if anyone playing a commander that's 4 mana or more, like, or anything worthwhile to copy. So, but it's still like 2 mana copy spell is really insane.
What would happen? What would happen? Just giving a question here. Like, so let's say that your opponent is somebody playing Shurikai. Shurikai is a creature. You copy Shurikai because it's a creature. What happens when it does not a creature anymore? You know, does it stay a copy or does not stay a copy?
So since it doesn't say, it becomes a dragon in addition to its other types and has flying, I would assume it still turns into a artifact crewable thing. I don't think it's like a thing it can attack anymore. I think because it has the ability, and does it say? I don't remember if it says crew to be able to attack with it, or I don't know. That's a good question.
Crew is to make it a creature.
Make it a creature, but I don't think it's a creature. It doesn't say it's a creature in addition to its other types. It just says it's a dragon, but being a dragon.
No, that's what I'm saying, because that's what I'm asking. Because let's say that you want to copy the Shurikai because you want to draw more cards, but Shurikai is a creature. At the end of the turn, it stops being a creature. Does the copy stop being a creature?
I think
Does it mean that it becomes a 1/1 again, or
no? It just stays a Shurikai, but it abides by the rules of Shurikai, if I'm not mistaken. Like it'll just be Shurikai, but you still need to crew it if you want to do the ability or whatever.
Okay.
But at the end of the day, like, you don't care about attacking with Shurikai, you just want to do the ability. So
okay,
that one is also kind of good.
Yeah, Nogi. I think Nogi is from a board game, if I'm not mistaken.
But it's so expensive.
Jumpstart
$28,
like the specific jumpstart mechanic thing. There's like a board game or game starter or something like that. I remember the symbol is like I think it's a star.
Yeah, it is. It's like a star.
That was in the Game Night Free for All.
Game Nights. That's
Game Nights. Yeah, that's the one that has another, that they have like a Chandra as well.
Yeah,
but with a different artwork. Yeah.
Crazy expensive.
A few of these cards are actually in those sets.
Yeah, I think they wanted to print some of those because they're inaccessible. Really.
Yeah.
Who would buy a board game? Come on.
A Magic board game, yes, kind of ridiculous. Commander is your literal board game. That's your
exactly.
So
I'll tackle Nogi. Draco Zealot is 1 and 2 red legendary creature, Kobold Shaman. Dragon spells you cast cost 1 less to cast, and it says, and he's a 3/3. It says whenever Nogi Draco Zealot attacks, if you control 3 or more dragons until end of turn, Nogi becomes a dragon with base power and toughness 5/5 and gains flying.
Yep, pretty good.
So Nogi goes hata hata, turns to a dragon.
I can understand why it's $30. Pretty good. Sort of inaccessible too, which makes it.
Here's another one.
But yeah, yep. I can read that one. Parapet Trasher, 2 colorless and 2 red. Dragon for 3 flying. Whenever 1 or more dragons you control deal combat damage to an opponent, choose one that hasn't been chosen this turn. 1, destroy target artifact an opponent controls. That opponent controls. 2, this creature deals 4 damage to each other opponent. Or 3, exile the top card of your library. You may play this card.
That is stupid.
Just value. Just
4 mana. If I hit you with 3 dragons, I get to do all 3.
Yeah.
Also, just for the fact that I can hit you for 4 and make sure everyone else gets hit for 4.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
That's beautiful.
Yeah, really good.
But the will of the teamer.
Yeah.
That is like it's a cycle.
Yep.
1 for each tribe.
Mm-hmm.
Which is the will? Which is it? A dragon? Is it a spell?
It's a sorcery.
Yeah,
it's a sorcery.
It reads,
here you go.
It's 5 and a blue sorcery. Choose one. If you control a commander as you cast this spell, you may choose both instead.
Mm-hmm.
Create a token that's a copy of target permanent, except it's a 4/4 dragon creature with flying in addition to its other types.
Mm-hmm.
And target player draws cards equal to the greatest mana value among permanents you control.
Weak sauce. It's sorcery, costs 6 mana and blue. Gross.
Except I'm gonna copy the your Ugin and then draw 8 cards
No, I don't care about that. That's dumb. 6
with
mana for
one.
that?
Yeah.
The only good thing is target permanent. That makes it way better. That's really
You choose
really
the highest mana value permanent and then draw 8 cards or 9 cards or 7 cards or 6 cards.
How much does it cost? Like $2
6 mana.
there? No.
Right? No,
Money.
cost
$3.
$2.99.
Exactly.
$3.
It's a $3 card. Yes, it sounds exactly like a $3 card.
It's a $3 card.
Should have been an instant, but I know that would have been ridiculous. Even
So
at 6 mana.
Let me say my problem with this deck.
Go ahead.
I feel like they made Eshki the main commander, but she doesn't really care about dragons. She just cares about high power.
Yeah.
And they just made a dragon deck.
Mm-hmm.
And like, you can have a dragon deck, but where's the teamer cards? Like the teamer clan, like where are they? It's just a dragon deck.
You mean like identity wise? It just feels generically teamer, but not like specifically.
You might feel it more in the others.
I agree.
They feel more Sultai, they feel more Abzan, they feel more Mardu. They feel like I started in this. Like this is what my first proper set. So I got to see and play with these cards through standard, through draft, through pre-releases. So some like the colors are cohesive with the mechanics. Yeah, and this is just a dragon deck. Like look at all those red pips.
Yeah,
just look at them. There's like so many red dragons.
There's so many red dragons.
I guess when they were thinking of reprinting like cheap dragons that are high costed, most of them are just red. That's kind of the problem too. So this one just ended up having the grunt of all the red dragons that generally like don't see us play as much because they're overcosted, or they used to see play in standard like 7,000 years ago. So
yeah, like Glorybringer, that's right somewhere around there.
Somewhere, if you got still
there
you know what I mean? Like that's just generic. Yeah, exactly. I have a pet peeve now that you mention it with this deck. I mean, I agree with what you said, by the way. I think it's very true. Like the commander herself, she's really good in a generic teamer deck. But in specifically here, like I feel like it doesn't do much. And then the other commander you have he's just generic value. Like they don't provide anything that feels teamer. Although she feels teamer, but then the rest of the deck just feels like let's just put all the dragons that we couldn't put anywhere else, or to just stick them there. Now the problem I have here is that artifact wise, even though it's a teamer deck, so it should have a lot more ramp spells. Fine, don't have a lot of them, I guess, even though it's teamer. The problem here is that the artifacts. Why do we have two talismans? Shouldn't we have 3 talismans here, or am I crazy?
You should, but also
I imagine that they didn't put...
It's consistent throughout the entire all the decks.
Okay, so that goes to my major problem then. Why? Like, haven't we passed the point where you can just stick these 3 talismans? Didn't they overprint all of these? So it's not that valuable. Hence, you can just include them.
It's not about monetary value. It's about deck design. They have 37 lands. You want to play shove in as many big beefy dragons that you can. You want to play all those things that you can. Okay. To make a cohesive deck while also being quote unquote on theme, except in this case the theme of this deck is just dragons.
Farewell Stone? Like, do we need Farewell Stone? I know it's better than I guess a talisman because you can technically tap for any color if you have
technically speaking it's better, but cards like Dragon Master Outcast, I don't feel like I don't know.
Yeah. That does not make sense to have it there. I'd rather have the other shaman, the one that lowers the cost for 2
theoretically
mana.
This is good because it's based on land, so teamer cares theoretically about ramping, but except
the commander doesn't help you ramp, and the secondary commander is the thing you want to ramp into.
Agree. Yes.
Then you start thinking about how Eshki cares about like 4 mana, 4 power creatures, and 4 or 6 or higher. Yeah. And Dragon Master Outcast isn't that, and then the secondary commander cares about dragons, and Dragon Master Outcast isn't a dragon. Yeah. I know I'm nitpicking like what I don't like, but in terms of like game design, I feel like it's just slightly off, and this is the only one I feel like is slightly off. Everything else feels really good.
Yeah.
So I'm glad we just took this one right now.
I think in terms of value, this one has a lot of value. Like it has
Yeah.
pretty good reprints too.
But I also think it's gonna crash. It's gonna crash the hardest.
Maybe because people
'Cause
don't buy this
no,
as much.
no, mostly because Nogi is gonna crash because he only has one reprint,
Mhm.
but he's not expensive because he's
Yeah.
powerful. He's expensive because
Because
he's just rare.
exactly, yeah.
And the other card that might, Hellkite Courser,
Mhm.
uh, and the face commanders will always go down.
No, they always go down, of course.
So
Yeah.
I don't think that this is going to retain the value.
Mm.
A lot of the other ones are actually, I feel like, are gonna retain the value.
Okay.
Okay. For me, I think I am with JP in this side in the sense that the deck is just a dragon deck. It's not like it's like instead of
It
like
doesn't
having
have a theme. It doesn't have a theme.
exactly instead of having
Theme is
SG, we could
dragons.
just yeah
Yeah,
exactly.
but you could say that about all of them. But all the other ones have dragons, but they're also other things.
Mm-hmm. Because what I'm looking here, like, oh,
This is
we
a team
play.
deck.
This
It's a
is
team.
like I'm gonna play dragon. I'm gonna play Dragon Tempest, and then I'm gonna continue playing dragons, and I'm gonna smack you in the face.
Yep. Yep.
That's it.
Mhm.
That's what I'm gonna do.
And then
That's
you're
my
gonna cast
strategy.
a bunch of big boys and draw cards and just keep casting more big boys and
And then if you want to keep the same theme, you just have to like I don't know, maybe splash in 30 more dollars and you're good
yeah.
because obviously if you want a better mana base, that's more, but
Mhm.
you know what I mean.
Yeah.
So let's go to the next one that is absent armor that it's with
That one's fun.
Felthar.
That one's fun. It cares about big beefy butts. Just
I-
a lot of
I-
there's a lot of toughness, which is cool.
This is one of my favorites.
Yeah, I like it. I like it too. I like
Yeah,
it.
I like big butts and I cannot
It's
lie.
like Arcades, but now you did it with Absan, which I think it's actually better too.
Okay, so Arcades gives you consistent card draw, and this gives you a burst of card draw.
But the burst of card draw is really good.
Yeah,
And
no,
you can there's ways to untap that thing to do it again.
Oh, of course, and
Exactly.
there's also ways to buff your team and draw even more cards.
I think, yeah. That's why I like it so much.
One of the I'm just gonna jump into the instance.
Yeah.
Tower defense.
Yeah.
Tower
Mhm.
defense. That's like the card.
Yep.
Creatures you control get +0/+5 and gain reach until end of turn at instant speed.
It's insane.
I'm attacking you with a few creatures,
Yep.
and all of them as an overrun for 2 mana.
Mm-hmm.
Insane.
Yep.
Arboreal Grazer, Jadi Offshoot, like 1 mana 0/0/3s. This is like very well designed. I do feel like they could have added a few other cards. One of the other cards I'm thinking about is Stalwart Shield Bearers. It's 1 and a white for a 0/3 defender, human soldier, and other creatures you control with defender get +0/+2.
That's pretty good. But it's not expensive at all. So it's a good upgrade.
This is a common.
Yeah, exactly.
But a few cards. One of the cards they added in this deck, I need to see who designed this deck, and I need to go to their house. They need to be taught a lesson. Why do they keep printing Zetalpa Primal Dawn?
Oh, they love it so much, huh? But I guess in this one makes sense. It's a 4/8. Even though it's not a defender, but this one, if there was a deck JP, it would be this one. This is the only deck that you can actually kind of abuse the fact that it's a 4/8.
You know what's the funny part is that as soon as the previews of this deck went live, people just started making memes. They were like, the card that we've been waiting for in the commander deck.
I know. It's so
flapping,
crazy.
double slapping,
Yeah,
no napping.
Yep. I think overall it's kind of well designed and it has pretty good value. Like you have the Dragon Lord Domoka just out of nowhere.
Yeah,
which is pretty good.
That's really good. And also the Towering Titan.
Yep. Also,
That's one of the reprints,
Mm-hmm.
and it's also really, really good for
Really
this
good.
deck.
Yep. I think overall they design it kind of.
Uh,
They have all the walls too, like the wall of blossoms, omens, roots. So
All
Yeah.
limbs, tree of redemption.
there-
the tree
there-
over them should they? You need the other tree. There's only one tree. The other tree should be here too.
You mean the black one?
Yeah.
yeah.
Why not? It's a black deck too. So
Yeah.
why not?
I do want to say Betor, Ancestor's Voice,
Mhm.
is very interesting as a its own commander.
Yeah.
Mostly because you play him and you have an effect that already gains you life or loses you life, but on beforehand, and you get immediate effects on your end step. Like you could get additional value. There's a card, I forget its name. It's 1 and a black for a creature that can tap to pay 3 life, and you flip a coin, and if you win the flip, you gain 6 life.
Very good.
So it makes you lose life, you gain life. Cards like even game changers like Necropotence.
Mhm.
Cards, oh yeah, I'm just gonna pay 5, and my end step I'm gonna draw those 5 cards. Oh look, I've lost 5 life. I'm gonna reanimate something.
Mhm.
There's a lot of good synergies with just losing life and gaining life. And the last time I think I saw this was in Lycia. I think that's the name.
Yeah.
The 8 mana Mardu commander vampire that cares about gaining life and
Mhm.
costs like less for each life you've gained.
Yeah.
There's a lot of stuff that's really, really interesting for this. There's also Will of the Abzan.
Yes. Will the option. Go ahead.
So, Will of the Abzan. It's a 3 and a blacks. Choose one. If you control a commander, as you cast a spell, you may choose both instead. Any number of target opponents each sacrifices a creature with the greatest power among creatures that player controls, and lose 3 life. Return target creature card from your graveyard to the battlefield.
Good
So
reanimation, board wipe, and reanimate something. That's not bad.
everyone loses one thing, and then you get you get something
Mhm.
back.
Yeah.
Whenever target player each sacrifice a creature with the greatest power among creatures that player controls. Greatest power among creatures that player controls.
Oh, I have a 6/6. That has
Yeah.
to die, and then
Then
know.
you sacrifice
it's a-
0-5 or whatever.
No. It's opponents. You don't
It's
sacrifice
opponents.
anything.
You don't sacrifice anything.
You don't
Yeah.
sacrifice
I
anything.
feel like there's a better version of this, but then it wouldn't it would only fit for this deck and nothing else. So I like it that is generically like Absan instead of specifically for this deck. Because they could have worded it in a way where it's like, oh, choose a creature you control. Every opponent sacrifices a creature with more power than your creature. Then they're all zeros. So then
I mean, in the sorceries, we already have something similar.
I know, but I'm
Each
saying
player
like,
chooses any number of creatures they control with total power 4
Yeah.
or less, then
which is a
sacrifices
great
all
board
other.
wipe
So
for
I
this.
just choose all my 0 creatures, and then some of the creatures that have the total power of 4.
That's Slatter the Strong, right?
Slaughter the Strong.
Slatter Strong. Yep. Really good.
In
Also-
artifacts, we have signets instead of
And
like
expel the
talisman.
interlopers too, I believe. Let me see. Yep.
Yeah, it's also expelled.
It's another board wipe. Yep. And specifically for this deck. That's why I like this deck a lot. It's really fun. So then the Reunion of the House is a new one. It costs 5 colorless and 2 white for a sorcery that reads: returning number of target creatures from total power 10 or less from your graveyard to the battlefield. Exile Reunion of the House. So basically reanimate everything.
And
Yeah, this is the same card as the that's for enchantments that
Yeah.
was released in Neon Dynasty. Same mana value and everything.
another of the new cards I think will actually see more play in other types of decks, and it's Tip the Scales.
Yeah.
2 and a black, sacrifice a creature. When you do, all creatures get -X until end of turn, where X is that sacrifice creature's toughness.
Yeah. It's a board
It's
wipe for
just a
3
3 mana board wipe,
Yep.
That's really cool.
depending on your board.
Yep.
Mhm.
Oh, I sacrifice something, some 3 power or 3 tough, some 3 toughness. That's -3 on everything. That's
Yep.
a board wipe.
That's good.
Even the most common toughness, which is 4, -4 is like a languish for 3 mana. That's pretty
Yeah.
good.
Yep.
Yeah, I think, and look, there is a 2 mana here, Nyx Fleece Ram. That's a
Yeah,
0/5.
2
Yeah,
mana 0/5
there's a
or a
bunch.
thing. Yeah, there's
Yeah,
a few.
There's a bunch. Yeah. You can get up to like 0/7s for like 2 mana. You have to dig for them, but yeah, those exist. It's pretty good. Yeah, it's pretty good. I like this deck a lot. This was the one that I saw, and I'd be like, if I were to buy one, this would probably be the one I would get. I really
If
love the
I were
design.
going to buy one, it
Yeah.
would be Mardu. I have to
Yeah.
stick with Mardu.
Of course, you do, of course. Because the Jeskai one, it's cool, but it doesn't speak to me. Not as much as this one. This was fun.
Are you looking for the #1 local game store here in Puerto Rico? I got it for you. It's called Titan Games. They are located in Caguas and in Rio Piedras. As well, they have their own website, titanhobbygames.com. There you guys can find your favorite TCGs and much more in their website. That's not all. Just pass by every week. There's an event and there's a lot of things you can do with Titan Games. All of their information are in the description below, so pass by and check them out. One of the deck, not going off like the commanders, though, the Zergo that I want to build is the one from the set.
Yeah, that one's good.
That one is just stupid powerful.
Yeah, it's really good. Really good.
Really good. Okay, so we are going now to Sultai Arisen.
You like this one, JP?
I love this
Value.
one,
Value. What's the
but
value?
it's mostly the Taval.
There's a grave crawler. That's nice.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
nice.
so-
Hedron Crab.
Hedron Crab is $8 now.
Yeah.
Oh my god, they got it being
Yes.
reprinted. Jeez, so expensive.
Hedron
So-
Crab is being reprinted here, and it has its own secret layer as well.
Oh my god, crazy.
So
Really
Taval the Balanced Scale is probably the strongest card in this set. Is in this commander.
There's a Dothy Voidwalker. What the
Oh,
hell?
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my god, great set. I want to buy this one now.
So Taval makes black zombie druids, and people have already seen that there's a druid lord that whenever you cast a druid, you draw a card, but that's not the important part.
Mhm.
You can tap 10 druids to steal an opponent's lands, all of them.
Oh, so good.
All of them.
Shoot.
That card spiked. The spiked hard.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yep.
so that one's really good. I feel like Colossal Grave Reaver is also one of the best cards I've seen in a while.
Mm-hmm.
Then whenever this creature enters or attacks, mill 3 cards, and whenever one or more creature cards are put into the graveyard from your library, put one of them onto the battlefield.
It's for free.
So if you reanimate
Mm-hmm.
this, you mill 3 cards, and if you get another creature, you put that into play. Oh look, it's whenever one or more creature cards are put into your graveyard from your library. So I'm gonna just cast Entomb or Unmarked Grave or Buried Alive or Lively Dirge or
You know what you can
Fateful Parting, if I'm not mistaken, is the 5 mana one. You know, you can do so much stuff with this. This is just crazy.
This deck is interesting because since it's Sultai, you can stick blue, which means you could
Mhm.
have a lot of clone effects and just be milling clones and then copying that thing and making
Oh, that's hilarious.
you just keep doing that for a while. And you find a way to blink them. That'd be awesome because you can blink this one. You just keep doing them. I don't know. You just go crazy. Just go nuts.
I love this deck also because it not only brings Tasigur the Golden Fang, which I
Tasigur.
love Tasigur.
So,
Tasigur is like one of my
that's your
favorite
secret third
design
commander
cards.
there, by the way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tasigur is probably one of the best designed commanders I've ever seen. In terms of a design, I love it.
Yep.
Gerard Golgari Lichlord. I also had a Gerard deck
Mm-hmm.
back in the day. It brings Marin, which of
Marin
Clan
too.
Neltoth.
It's another.
That's
secret
also
commander.
very strong.
You also have Life from the Loam. This deck's sacked.
Yes.
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 Stacked deck. And you got command beacon. Is that on all the decks or just this one? Because that's insane. If it's only on this
I think
one,
it's only in this one. I haven't seen it in the other
stacked,
ones.
stacked deck. So good.
Yeah, this deck
Lot
is
of value.
extremely stacked.
Yeah.
It
really good.
even has Silphied Coliseum as a
So
land.
good, so good. You got Crypt of the Academe. That's like a $7 card, I think. Yeah.
650.
That's good. It's good.
No, this deck is stacked. It's
Yeah,
really
pretty-
No,
stacked.
this deck is amazing. You know,
So I'm,
What was
I'm
the other
really, really
will?
happy with
A
this.
Will of
Will-
the Soul Tie is the other one. Yeah. I can read it. Four colorless and a green for sorcery that reads choose one. If you control your commander, as you cast a spell, you do both. The first one, target player mills 3 cards. Return all land cards from your grave to the battlefield tapped. The second one, put X one more counters on target creature, where X is the number of lands you control. It gains trample until end of turn. So yeah, theoretically, you mill 3. If
Mhm.
it's like a deck that's based around lands, you're gonna get more than 3 lands or potentially a bunch of them. And then you put all of that into a creature, a big beefy creature, and you stick it because it has trample too. So pretty good.
And
Like
this deck just keeps on giving because I forgot Steward of the Harvest is also in this
a
deck.
living death too.
Like
Wow.
when
That's
this
pretty good.
creature enters, exile up to 3 target land cards from your graveyard. Creatures you control have all activated abilities.
Yes, yes. Yep.
I'm just gonna turn all my creatures into
Everything.
strip mine.
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
Pretty
Not
good.
even wasteland. No, strip mine.
Yep.
Into
Pretty
Gaia's
good.
Cradle, into Cabal
Ridiculous.
Coffers, into whatever you want, really.
And this one's a good deck because it has a lot of ramp spells. So this one
Mhm.
actually cares about ramping a lot because it
Yes.
cares about lands a lot. So pretty good. Pretty good deck.
There's really good. There's a
Feels
really
very
neat deck.
powerful because very
feels-
synergistic.
Wow. Damn. Okay. There you go. Yay.
Even your tone of voice is like, yeah, Mario.
Yay.
Mardu.
Mardu. It's the thing is that when I started playing Magic,
Mhm.
was Cons of Tarkir was recently out.
Yeah.
And my first like standard deck was with Zurgo the Helm Smasher.
Mm.
I would lose in all tournaments because who would play a 5 mana 7? I think he was a 7/2, if I'm
Yeah.
not mistaken.
Yeah.
Who would want to waste their mana on that? But hey, I had my wins, but it was super fun. And I think my favorite card, I don't know if it's in the deck, but my favorite card was Crackling Doom, that in this
Oh,
set, they did a different version of it, but way better.
Mhm.
Way better.
Yeah.
But Zurgo Storm render, love it. It's but obviously I love the one from the set because your tokens stay. So it's really interesting. Even though the effect of this Zurgo is still fun because whenever a creature token you control leaves the battlefield, you can draw a card if it was attacking.
Mhm.
Otherwise, each opponent loses a life.
Yeah.
So if you make a, that's what I was gonna say. Like if you have Vizier Zir, you start sacrificing creatures or tokens.
Sack outlet. Yep.
You keep. Oh, I'm draining all of your lives. Let's continue. So I'm super stoked.
You have an
about it.
Ophiomancer, which is perfect with that. So if you have sack outlet Ophiomancer in your commander, you start going crazy there.
Adeline,
Mhm.
Gix.
Adeline. Yeah.
Adeline, Gix.
Like this is also a very stacked deck.
Yep.
It is.
One of the cards that they have here, the new ones, is Grand Crescendo, which is an instant. It's an X for 2 white.
Okay.
Create X 1/1 green and white citizen creature tokens. Creatures you control get indestructible until end of turn.
That's
So
from
for the low cost of 2 mana, you make all your creatures indestructible.
Yeah, that's from the
Isn't this a new Capenna?
Cavaretti,
Oh, this is an older card.
Capenna. Yeah.
Oh, it is. It is. Oh my
But
god.
still for 2,
So good.
and not only that, you can go ahead, if you have this, you can go ahead and use Secure the Waste.
Yep.
That I think it's the same amount of mana for two white mana necks.
Mhm.
You create like X amount of like 1/1 white. I think it's white
Just X and
warrior.
white. X and
Yeah,
white.
X and white.
Secure the Waste is
Oh,
X and white.
X1 mana. Okay.
Yeah, X and 1.
So yeah, like there's so many great things in this deck. Like amazing. Here's Will of the Mardu. I'll take this one. And this is an instant.
So that's actually better.
So 2 and 1 white instant. Choose one. If you control a commander as you cast this spell, you may choose both instead. Create a number of 1/1 red warrior creature tokens equal to the number of creatures target player controls. Will of the Mardu deals damage to target creature equal to the number of creatures you control.
I
Yeah.
feel like it could have dealt damage to players too.
Yeah,
Oh, I know.
exactly.
But then the thing is, it's like, I made 1,000 billion tokens. Okay, give me a second. I'm gonna do the same thing, and I killed them all board.
But you know why I think they didn't do it for the for the number of creatures to do damage to like the opponent, because think about it. If you add Anointed Procession
Jesus.
The one from New Phyrexia,
So
Mondrak,
you got Mondrak, you got Anointed Procession, you
Elspeth.
got the 3-mana Kaya that doubles tokens when you activate her ability.
Yeah.
Then you
And
got
Elspeth.
the new Elspeth that
The new
also
Elspeth.
double.
So if you have all of that, like in game, you're gonna have so many tokens. Obviously, depending on how you order things, because you guys know that you have to order things, and you can make sure that you have full value of like the doubling your creature tokens. But but the fact that it's fine that you can destroy target creature, I'm okay with that. But still, I love it because let's say that you're going against somebody that has a token deck or has a bunch of creatures as well. You
Mhm.
target them, you have that same amount of creatures as well.
Yep.
So I don't know.
Very good.
It seems fun,
Really good. Really good.
and it has great cards as well. It has Skull Clamp,
Skullcam reprint, especially for so many 1/1 creatures you're gonna be making. Blade of Selves, really
Blade
nice.
themselves.
You can abuse a lot of the effects already with that.
You have even though this is not the Idol of Oblivion, but you can draw a card for 2 mana.
Mm-hmm.
Lightning Greaves. You have a couple of talismans as well.
That infantry
So
shield is new, right?
I
Because it has
think
mobilize.
so. Yeah, it has Mobilize. Yeah,
So that
a
one's kind of
creature has
interesting.
Menace and Mobilize X.
Yeah, mobilize is
Hey,
pretty
you put that
good.
on the old Zergo. That's Mobilize 7.
Mm-hmm. I know.
Think about it.
It's pretty good.
I'm super excited. This is the one that I'm really excited about.
There's a
Wow,
there's
this
a
has
card.
Divine Visitation
Oh yeah.
already.
Yeah.
There's a card spoiled for the main set.
Mhm.
That's a 3-mana creature that says pay 1 mana, sacrifice a token, draw a card.
Oh my god.
Pay 1. It's an uncommon, by the way.
Of course it is.
1 mana, sacrifice a token, draw a card.
Is it a token or a creature token?
Token.
Broken. That's broken.
You can pay 1 mana to sacrifice
A food.
to crack a food and
I
draw a
know,
card.
it's
To
insane.
crack a
Insane. Too
clue,
good.
draw a card. You can
That-
crack a scrap. You can crack like any token.
That's too good. Too good.
It's so good.
That one's new too. That was pretty cool.
Yeah, within range.
Enchantment.
So for 4 mana, you have when this enchantment enters the battlefield, create 2 1/1 red warrior creature tokens. Whenever you attack, each opponent loses life equal to the number of creatures
Mm-hmm.
attacking them.
Yep.
Holy cow.
Really good.
This one is well, Legion's Loyalty. Creatures you control have Myriad.
Yeah.
Why not?
Myriad on your Myriad. This one has Lightning Greaves too, which is of note.
Yeah,
Pretty good.
as Lightning
And
Greaves.
Skull
Yes.
Clamp.
I know
and
it's
Skull
two
Clamp.
really good artifacts. Generically good. Just
Like
and
it's so interesting that you have the teamer that's like the most expensive one, and then you have Abzan, Sultai, and Mardu are like the ones that have like the cool reprints and the ones that are gonna maintain like value.
Mm-hmm.
So
Finally
I'm
have
super
the-
excited. This
to
deck, this commander. Like if we ever play test these,
We need to play test them.
I already chose mine. It's gonna be Zergo. So lastly but not least, Jeskai Striker
Yep.
is the final commander of
So-
the bunch.
Mm-hmm.
So I do want to mention that I didn't capture this at first.
Okay.
Okay.
So with Shiko and Narset, I feel like you kind of want to just play a second spell and not target anything and just draw a card. Do you feel that way, Orengo? You play more blue than me.
I
Don't
guess
you- Like play, if you have like the deck brings an Archmage Emeritus, you cast an instant or sorcery, draw a card, then the next one you draw 2 cards. Like it's
Yeah.
just you could just use it
But the
as a way to
versatility-
fuel.
The versatility is good, so it depends
Oh, no.
on what you're doing. So I
There's
guess
def-
having
there's-
options is good. But
There's
yes, generally you're gonna be
definitely
drawing for sure.
like good options to target that target.
Yeah, but I think in
Uh,
general, I agree with you. You probably just want to be drawing because I feel like there has to be a couple of these cards that care about your second spell each turn,
Yeah.
and you can care about spell slinging as well.
In this case, there's the deck brings Baral's expertise,
There you
something
go.
like that. You cast it, You you cast something, then your second spell is Baral's Expertise, so you cast it and you copy it.
Yep.
So you get to cast 2 spells with mana value 4 or less from your hand without paying their mana cost. So you get to manually storm off.
Exactly. And I appreciate that there's a bunch of cantrips in the deck too. And there's like basically all the really good ones, I would say. There's Ponder, you got Consider, you got Faithless Looting, Preordain. Yeah, you got a bunch of the really good ones. You got Narcissus Reversal. Let me see what else is here. Let's see. So you got Curse of the Swine, that's good. Think Twice, nice. Compulsive Research, Frantic Search, Prismatic Command. Yeah, all your spells are going to be drawing. So you're going to be drawing with all these.
My problem with this deck is that
Yeah,
it's probably the most mana hungry. And
Which one was it?
the
Jeskai Strikers is going to be the because you want to be playing as many spells as you can. You want to be playing 2 spells per turn, so you need enough mana to do that.
Don't you think the deck accommodates it by having a bunch of signets, by the way, because it has a bunch of signets, and I think because it has a lot of like the discount creatures. You have Goblin Electromancer. I believe Baral also discounts, if I'm not mistaken, or am I crazy?
Yeah, but Baral does.
Baral is not. It's not
No,
here.
there's no Baral here.
No,
but
there's
Baral
not the
does
Baral. Okay, but Goblin Electromancer.
Yeah,
does
Electromancer does it.
But you got Goblin Electromancer. Isn't there like a new spell reduction spell that it's as well the same colors as Goblin Electromancer?
Yeah,
that
I'm pretty sure. There's also Stormkill Artist.
Stormkill.
Whenever you cast a spell,
So good. You make a treasure. So good. Great replay.
Yeah.
Instant sorcery.
You have young Pyromancer that creates 1/1 elemental creature tokens.
Nobody cares.
Gutter
But
I agree. I agree with you. It is the most mana hungry because there's not a lot of ways to kind of discount your spells, which would have been ideal for this type of deck.
Mm-hmm.
You have Magma Opus. That's insane.
Yeah, I feel like Elsha, like this deck is like very well made in terms of idea and concept, but I feel like it's probably gonna be the one that plays the least well out of the box.
I feel the same looking at it right now. Let me see.
Isn't it? I think that if you switch, like before you sit down to play with the deck, if you switch to Shiko and Narset with Elsha, I think that you have a better.
I think that Elsha would be slightly better because you get to try to kill the opponent faster because you're going to be making tokens with prowess and you have prowess itself. But the problem is if the deck, if you can't sequence enough spells together back to back, you're going to struggle a bit more. With Shiko and Narset, the problem is it needs to be spells that target a permanent or a player. That's a little bit specific in a deck where I'm not seeing too much of that specifically. It's a lot of cantrips, and cantrips don't target. You just draw them.
Interesting though that there are a few cards that come to mind.
Oh look, a replay of Narcissus Reversal
with a different art.
Back when M19 came out, I think M19, M20. I wanted to build Kaikar, and I built Kaikar, and my Kaikar was like a manual storm type Kaikar. And I just shoved in all the cantrips that added that were red. So creatures you control gain trample, draw a card, and Kaikar would make the spirit, and I would sacrifice the spirit to cast another one, which target creature gains haste, draw a card, and I would just keep on going with that. With that same concept, I feel like this deck can just kind of go that direction but you have to overhaul it. Like you have to completely overhaul. And
I think cards like needs the most updates.
Yes. It's not that the commanders are bad, and it's not that the deck is bad. It's just that it feels like you need to do more updates in order to make it work.
It's kind of struggling a little bit because it's trying to be a spell slinger deck, but there's kind of no payoff. It's trying to be a copy spells or whatever, but it's not doing that much either. Your secondary commander cares about spell slinging, but the other one cares about copying spells, and they're not really the same thing either. And then you just have a bunch of like expensive spells, but no way to like play them for cheap or play them quicker. And that's why it's trying to compensate again with so many art. Like it's the one that has the most mana rocks, I believe, out of all the decks.
it is.
And it is for a reason. So yeah, I think I agree with you. This would need like a better commander or fine tuning. Either you want to make more tokens or you want to be drawing a bunch and try to have a good X payoff.
Because I immediately thought Jessica's Will,
Yeah.
which is funny, which is Jessica's Will.
Yeah.
You cast a cantrip, do something, then you cast Jessica's Will, target an opponent. You if you have Shiko and Narset out, you draw a card, double it, or you don't draw the card, you just double it, and you have a bunch of mana and exile the top 6 cards, and just try to go off.
Yep, agree.
That's where I was heading with the manual storm. Like it feels like you want to be manual, doing some really weird, odd shit with the second spell. You want to be copying something really interesting.
That's why I said that if anything, like if you are on your local game store and they have like a commander pre-con event, because that's something that they're usually doing nowadays.
For the commander parties, they do it. Yeah,
exactly. So you can buy the Jeskai Striker instead of using Shiko and Narset, just use Elsha.
You'll probably win faster with Elsha for sure, because you're gonna make so many tokens. You're gonna overrun the board unless they have a board wipe.
And not only that, Elsha makes tokens. Then you have where's the
Gutter Snap is a good idea too. And Monastery.
So you have a Monastery Mentor, prowess, and then creates monks that have prowess as well.
Yep.
So, and then you have this guy, third patch in icon class, makes tokens.
Young Pyromancer, which does
Young Pyromancer, same thing. So I think the payoff with Elsha is much better, out of the box.
I think so, based on what you have here, because there's not. I don't feel like there's many here that they're good X spells at target, but not that many, and most of them are cantrips. Which ideally you want to have like these creatures, this low cost creature that be doing a lot of cantrips on your turn. So you're accelerating, you're drawing a bunch of cards, and you're doing something on the board. You're affecting the board by making so many creatures. So yeah, I think perhaps it's one of the ones where you might benefit from switching to the other one. The other ones, generally the face commander is the proper commander, generally speaking, but this one specifically, I think, based on what you have in the deck, I think those are the I feel. Yeah. It's cool though. It's Jeskai. It's it's doing Jeskai things.
Where's the will of the Jeskai? And it's a sorcery.
They failed. Spectacular.
They failed. Okay, so Will of the Jeskai, for 3 mana, 1 red, sorcery. Choose one. If you control a commander as you cast this spell, you may choose both instead. Each player may discard their hand and draw 5 cards. And then there's the other one. Each instant and sorcery card in your graveyard gains flashback until end of your turn. The flashback cost is equal to its mana cost.
And that's why it's a sorcery speed, because it's too good. How much does it cost? Like, I mean, not mana wise, money wise.
10.
Yeah, exactly. It costs like a $10 card. Yes, it is. It's literally a wheel. It's a wheel with upside, because you could then just be like, oh my god, I lost everything important. No, I can just recast it. I can recast everything now. So yeah, the Will of this Jeskai is really strong.
The other card that I kept here because I was reading it is Tempest Technique.
Really good for any Enchantress type of deck, like a Tuvasa, for example.
No,
that is
Tuvasa, dude.
Like a Light Pause too.
Light Pause.
Yeah, you go crazy with
That's
Light
the
Pause.
only thing I was thinking. I'm like, wait,
No.
you start casting small things to Light Pause, and then you cast this at the end.
And that one. That's why that one is a pretty penny too. It's a couple bucks.
Yeah, it's 924.
Yep, I think it's one of those is gonna. You can go up.
Yeah, one of those. Yeah.
His storm ability is kind of good. Thankfully, it's 4 mana, right? It's 4 mana.
Yeah, 4 mana.
Thank God it's 4 mana. Yeah, because it would have been like 2. If it was 2 mana, it was insane. 3 mana, it would still kind of like too powerful.
No, 3 mana.
But at 4 mana, I think it's acceptable, because it can just be one of those things where you're just chaining a couple of them. That you put this one, and just if you have like 3 copies of those, you're ready. You're gonna win.
If you have Light Pause and some mana reducers, this is ridiculous.
That's it. Yeah, that's definitely it. Yeah, really good.
Because you would be like, oh, I cast Tempest Technique, Storm. Let's say that you have Storm count of 4.
Yeah.
So you're gonna have +4/+4. Well, no, +5/+5. already, and that's not including how many other enchantments you have,
Yeah.
including those. So
Yeah.
stupid.
Really good. Really good.
Really good. I don't know. I think that I fully agree with JP. The fact that even though, hey, are you looking for premium playtest cards? I have you covered. TolarianLibrary.com. Just pass by their website, check out all of the playtest cards that you might need for your commander deck, and use code CBCMTG to get 20% off your order. If you're looking for cards that you probably don't have a budget for, it's fine. Tolarian Library might have it, and you can get it for your future commander. Temur is like the the
most
one with the
value.
most value, but
Mhm.
I agree with JP. I think out of the bunch, the other 4 commanders have more retaining value than Timor Roar.
But to be fair, I think this one out of the box, because it's just generic, I think it might be pretty strong too, because you play
Oh,
that
yeah.
commander, you have a little bit of ramp, you have creatures, like it has a good mana curve. So you start casting those 4-costed dragons with that the face commander, you're gonna go crazy real fast. And a lot of them enable you, like a lot of these enchantments and creatures and spells too, enable you to draw more cards too. So it's generically good. You just have to hit like a threshold, and eventually you're just gonna go off because you just gain so much value and so many big giant dragons.
Yeah, I completely agree. But you know what
Mhm.
would be fun? Like if a local game store, and this is just for me, giving an idea to all local game stores, completely free. So it would be fun, like these deck lists come out beforehand, so it would be fun to have like an event, like, hey, how about we can do a Precon Plus event? So you choose, if you have already pre-ordered the commander that you want, you have 15 minutes before the event starts to add a couple of cards. And then you have your, I don't know, Precon Plus. Instead of bracket 2 is bracket 3 because you added a couple of like game changers or whatnot.
15 minutes? Guess I'm going to add 15 game changers.
Gonna go crazy there.
Go crazy.
Yeah.
But it would be fun. It would be fun. Like, hey, for instance, for the teamer, it needs a little bit more ramp. So, hey, let's go ahead and add a couple of ramp spells in it because I already know which ones I want to add in. So, yeah, I think I think it would be a fun event if you give like your community a couple of minutes to be able to like make changes to their deck before the event even starts.
I like it.
So what do you guys think? Do you guys think that people are going to enjoy these commanders out of the box?
The Abzan one, really
Definitely.
fun. The Sultai one, really fun. The
Agreed.
Mardu one, really fun. I feel like the Abzan one is probably the most flavorful. You the most consistent one because you're going to be drawing cards more often than not. I feel like Teval, even though it's like probably the stronger commander of the two in the Sultai one, needs more build around. So that kind of limits it. And the Mardu one, the secondary commander, is basically non-existent. Not because it's bad, but because it feels very difficult to pull off like a good turn when you can play that, attack, exile multiple type cards, and play them. So I like all of these decks. I like Tarkir a lot. And I'm excited to see if I'm not sure if I pick up one.
I would maybe pick Absent. That's maybe the only one I would pick. But maybe I'll get individual cards for sure. There's some interesting cards, like the Will of the Jeskai, for example, is just a good, generically good red card. You know what I mean? So maybe stuff like that I would pick up on my own. But perhaps I'd just pick up, because the thing is, the MSRP on these are like a slightly higher, right? Are we like in the $50 range right now?
I think it's usual price range for the commanders right now.
Okay, because it's not like Universes Beyond.
It's not a Universes Beyond, and it's not a specialty set.
Yeah,
they don't have any special treatment other than the foiling on the commanders.
yeah. So yeah, maybe the Absan one because it's like you said, it's the one that feels more flavorful, and the upgrades will be cheap because it's just walls, defenders, and that's stuff that generally people
Yeah.
don't play a lot. So
I was just thinking about like you
Mhm.
know turn one mana 0/3 because I started looking through a list
Oh,
and there's
yeah.
a bunch of them. Turn
course.
one mana 0/3. Turn 2 you ramp. Turn 3 you play your
Yeah.
commander, hit someone for 3. Then
Mhm.
turn 4 you can either sacrifice the 0/3 and draw 3 cards. Just 3 mana 3 cards. That's
It's
really
gross. Yeah,
that's
that's what I'm
really
saying.
gross. And
Really
then
gross.
start working
Yeah.
towards something else.
Yep. Agree. That's why I
and
like
that
it a
and,
lot.
and at that point you've only expended what, lands as resources and 2 spells.
Yep.
That seems like a really
Really
good
good.
deal and really good bargain for
Agree.
that.
Agree. Yep. I like it a
Okay,
lot.
sadly, TCG Player still does not have Commander like prices like for
Mm.
pre-sale.
Yeah.
That's what I was looking for in terms of price. But they don't have listings yet.
Presumably it has to be 45 to 50. I think that's fair. I was looking at my local game store and their sealed event is going to be $40, which is insane for standard. I remember these things used to be 20, then 25, then 30, and I was fine up to 30. Now we're going to 40. And yeah, they're doing a lot of sealed events and then drafts are $20, which I think is acceptable. Yeah.
Yeah,
Mhm.
I know that. Give me 1 second.
Yep.
Let's see. Because I think I know that they announced it. I am going to do a promo this tomorrow.
Yeah.
So for all of our listeners that we're gonna be posting this at the same time as always at 10 o'clock in the morning. But 10 o'clock.
Yeah.
So they did mention that. Let's see.
Mhm.
Oh, so is it next week? Okay, here we go. So yes, it is next week. Yeah, next
Okay.
week. So next week, April 4, you got to pass by Titan Games.
Yes.
From April 4, April 5, and April, let me see, yeah, April 6, they will have the pre-release events, and on April 6 on Sunday, they will have a two-headed giant pre-release. So don't miss out on their pre-release event starting April 4 until April 6th, and they will be available on both local game stores that Titan Games have. So that means that they have one in Rio Piedras and one in Caguas. So check them out. All of their information are in the description below, like that you guys can check out and pass by their event. I don't know if any of you passed by the Titan Games Spring Fest, but if you did, tell us in the comments as well. So overall, guys, are you super excited about the set?
Yes.
I'm okay. I like some stuff. I like some stuff. I even though I started playing Magic again because I used to play when it was like Dark Steel, but that was like a little bit. When I properly got into Magic again, it was during Tarkir as well. I bought like the Commander. I think it was 2014 decks. Around that time, there was Tarkir and stuff. But I don't have a lot of like nostalgia for that. Even though I love dragons, but I love dragons from Yu-Gi-Oh, not from Magic as much. But there's some interesting stuff here. I think the Commander decks feel inspiring. Feel like they've actually crafted them very well, very flavorful in terms, most of them at least, flavorful in terms of their tribes, the cards themselves. They're giving you a bunch of dragons. So if you love these dragons, you love the lore, it's like a love letter to all these dragons. You have so many broken cards, like a Mox for dragons. You got Draco Genesis, which makes all your dragons cost 0, basically. You cast them for free. You got a win con with dragons now, with an enchantment. Like, you have so many good things with dragons, and plus a bunch of really cool dragons in this new set. You're gonna have a lot of fun playing this. So it's cool. It's cool. At least I prefer this because it's in tune with Magic than SpongeBob, which came out today and stuff like that. And people were having trouble getting their little SpongeBob secret layer in foil. You can get them in non-foil. It's still available somehow. But yeah.
I'm excited for it. I'm excited for Mardu. That's my clan. Like almost all of us have mentioned, I did get into Magic 100% in cons. So seeing this back again, going back to Tarkir, super exciting. And seeing dragons once again just gives me the heebie-jeebies to do the Dragon once again, or Tiamat. I don't know. I'm still thinking about it.
So expensive too.
I know. So nothing across the board. Let's go ahead and say our goodbyes and where the people can find you. So Ale, where can the people find you?
You can find me here talking about sweet cardboard, universes beyond cardboard, and in universe cardboard. You can also find me at Cinemas Podcast, where I talk about movies, I do movie reviews, I talk about movies for hours on end. And yeah, you can just follow me on my social media. But JP, where can the people find you?
You can find me here in the Cardboard Cave podcast talking about sweet magic.
Yeah.
What about you, John?
So you guys can find me here in the Cardboard Cave podcast. Me and Ale are always active in the social media. So if you see a comment answering your questions or commenting on what you mentioned, could be me, it could be Ale. You know, it could be anybody. But nothing as well. I do movie reviews as well and movie interviews. So there is an interview that I have not yet posted. It's for an upcoming movie called Sweet Home Rebirth. I don't remember the title. Sweet Home Alabama. I interviewed the producer of the film. We had a great conversation talking about CGI and whatnot that will be releasing at the end of this week. So nothing if you guys pass by to Reel In Films to look at that content as well. So I think, guys, we will go ahead and see you guys all in the next one. Bye-bye.
Rope until I cut it, bala pa tu cabeza, para delicadeza, habla la realeza, salva naturaleza, method for your mentalities, kill them with no fatalities, happy with all the cannabis, welcome to your reality.